North Little Rock Center of Excellence. This is a proposed district conversion charter school that will house engineering, computer science, advanced manufacturing, healthcare, transportation, and logistics programs. The thing I want to emphasize to you tonight is that this is not the old vocational center. This isn't something for those kids that aren't going to go to college. This is not an either-or program. This is an and program. These programs are for college-bound students as well as workforce-bound students. Because at the end of the day, if you want your student prepared for their future, no matter what that may hold, NLRSD is where that you want them to be. It's important to understand why we need to look at college and career and technical education differently. Jobs that we as parents move will be a thing of the past. Most students will have 15 different careers in their lifetime, which means employees that would typically go to work and stay there for their entire life will be no longer. You can see that not only are there employment changes, but the skills are also different. And you can read those. I'm not going to read all of those to you, but the skills are very different from what we had to do when we were youth. Okay, so as many of you have heard me say before, the purpose of the program is to help students find their passion and prepare students for their future. We'll do this by preparing students for the fourth industrial revolution. And you can see here what the other industrial revolutions held. So the first is, as we know, were water and steam power for mechanical productions. Second was about the electrical power to create mass production. The third is electronic and informational technology to automate production. But the fourth builds on the third, and it's the digital revolution. It's the fusion of technologies that blur the line between physical, digital, and biological spheres. And if you think about your kids that like to play video games, they all have friends in different countries. That's what this is about. One of the most important things that started us down this road was a meeting that we had with industry partners. And the fact that we needed to listen to them and to find out from them what skills are essential for their potential employees. So these skills included the items listed on this slide. While we do teach many of these skills, and the employers were very quick to say that the skills are not transferring to employment. So we as educators must do a better job preparing our students. And that is what this center is about. So let me tell you who our current industry partners are. But please understand that this list changes every day as new industry wants to be part of what we have going on in North Little Rock. On the transportation, distribution, logistics side, we have Arkansas Truck Center, Arkansas Trucking Association, Energy, Goodwill, Maverick, Northwest Technology Institute, PAM Transport, Perky's, Tyson Foods, UPS, Walmart, Newport, ASU Newport, Pulaski Tech. You can see that we've got some pretty big people very interested in North Little Rock. Now on the manufacturing side, we have Cameron and Caterpillar and Custom Aircraft Cabinet and Dassault Falcon and Goodwill and Kimberly Clark and Lexicon. And of course the chamber, both chambers, Little Rock and North Little Rock. We have Molex, Pulaski Tech, and Wellspun. A lot of people are very excited about what is going on in North Little Rock. But when you look at what Arkansas needs across the state, there was just a report released called Closing the Achievement Gap 2020. And that's a master plan for higher education in Arkansas. And what they said was the greatest needs indicated by employment projections are technical certificates, followed by associate degrees, and then bachelor's degrees, which is very different from what we have heard in the past. So while this report was made for higher education, I think that all of us can see that it has implications for us in K-12. So why a conversion charter? You can see my bullets there are traditional models don't always meet every student's needs and allow flexibility for students and staff to find their passion. Now, in order to be approved for a conversion charter, NLRSD must, and I say must, come up with a plan that is very, very different from traditional campuses. This may mean alternate scheduling. Could be 4 days of direct instruction, a day of lab, or 3 days of direct instruction, a day of lab, and a day of internship. The possibilities are endless. Flexibility in conversion charter plan is only limited by what we come up with, which is why your input is so very important to us. It also may mean that a specialist in a particular area, such as a registered nurse, teach a healthcare program. A lot of times people get very bogged down when you start talking about conversion charters in charter schools it's about waivers. Guys, this is not the approach that we are going to take in this. What we want to do is first decide as a community what we want this center to look like. Then we'll apply the waivers that make that happen. We have to build it first before we look at what we want to do different as far as what the State Department's rules and regulations are. So, within the conversion charter, this is what happens. So, we have, as many of you know, we have filed our letter of intent. The board approved that. Then we went to a technical assistance conference that told us what we have to do. So now we're to the point that we are about to start writing our application. And that's what tonight's public meeting helps us do. It's one little part, one little requirement in the whole process. But we didn't just want to do a public meeting, a public hearing, and stand up and tell you what we want to do. We want to make this a process so that we get everyone's input. The application itself is due August the 4th, so we have a little bit of time. The application, you see there, the applications are then reviewed and evaluated based on the rubric. That happens August the 4th. We would like to take this completed application to the board in June, which then gives us a little bit of time to make any revisions or anything that we need to do. Okay, so once that happens and it's submitted, then the Department of Ed goes back and forth with us for a little while, and these things will work. You might want to think about adding this or taking that away, and then it eventually goes to the Charter Authorizing Panel, which will conduct their hearings on October the 19th and 20th. Then the State Board will then decide if they want to review the panel's decision in November. So while we will offer some of these courses next year, this, if it gets approved, this will not go into effect until the 17-18 school year.